Coventry City Football Club officials have told fans they've got no choice but to go ahead with plans to leave the Ricoh Arena. The club say they intend to move out of the city for 3 seasons while they build their own stadium. Our sports editor Nick Clitheroe reports.
This was always going to be a night for strong emotions, and so it proved. Coventry City Chief Executive Tim Fisher spent more than an hour taking questions from fans furious at the club's plan to leave the Ricoh Arena and ground share while they build a new stadium.
There is a real risk that this football club just spirals down and down. And that isn't because
A show of hands in the room revealed that only 10 of 200 supporters would follow the club to this shared home. But Mr Fisher says they've got no choice.
I cannot sugarcoat the 3-year ground share. It's impossible for me to present it any other way. But that is the way that this is going to go. We have to go on ground share for 3 years whilst we build a new stadium.
But you admitted yourself that if the worst case scenario happens and you only get, say, 3,000 fans, it could be very difficult for the club to survive that financially.
There will be a huge commercial risk, and that commercial risk will in essence, sit with Sisu.
Most of the supporters went away frustrated.
I think our club is on a downward spiral. I think it's going to get worse. Yes, I'm very, very worried.
If they come out and say, we'll do a deal, or ACL will do a deal with us, we'll stay at the Ricoh for 3 years, build your stadium by all means, fans will be fine. But they're not doing that, and I think that they're being stubborn and not listening to the fans.
It's a huge divide. On one side, the feelings of fans with Coventry City in their blood. On the other, a club who claim the future's bleak without their own stadium.
And Nick joins us now from Coventry. Now, Nick, are we any closer to knowing where the club is likely to ground share?
Well, not entirely, Nick. Tim Fisher told the meeting that the Football League had given them a list of clubs that they would accept a ground share with, and they've whittled that down to 3 with whom they're in talks, all within a 30-mile radius of Coventry. But apparently they've said they're not allowed to cement that deal or announce which ground they're going to share with until CCFC Limited, that's part of the club, comes out of administration.
So where do we stand exactly on the future of the club itself?
Well, again, that's still very unclear tonight because there is this part of the club, CCFC Limited, that's in administration, but there's a real argument about what they control and what's in that club. That's the part that's been put up for sale by the administrator, with bids in by tomorrow and plenty of interest, we believe. But on the other hand, Tim Fisher said tonight, Coventry City Football Club is not up for sale. We've got a 10-year vision. We're going nowhere. But he also warned that unless they came up with a sustainable plan, and that's where they're talking about this new stadium, the club could only go downwards and downwards in this spiral, and that the future was very bleak. But the fans feel that the plan being put forward by the club at the moment is pretty bleak indeed themselves.
Nick Clitheroe, thank you. And there'll be more reaction from the Fans Forum on BBC Coventry and Warwickshire's breakfast show from 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Well, it's been a beautiful day in the